What's up, guys? It is 9:01 a.m. Wednesday, February 16th, 2022 AD. That is short for Anno Domini. We don't say CE over here, Common Era. That's secular talk. Hat tip to secular talk, right? Or should I hat tip to that guy? Forget him. But he did appear on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, so that's nice. I'm referring to another guy, some host of secular talk. I've talked about him before on the Hake Report. This is the Hake Report. I am James Hake. It is Wednesday, once again, February 16th, 2022. And we have a fun Wednesday show for you, I think. I say we, because it is not solo Hake. It is Hake on the Jesse Lee Peterson network with the help of Kickflip Chris, Galaxy Brain, and, of course, Nicolas out there. I'm going to talk about some mass shooting stuff that's gone on. Did you ever think that the Sandy Hook 2012 killing of those children would go away, be something... Oh, don't worry about that, Nick. I was able to transfer it from this computer, so the folder is there. So don't worry about it. Did you ever think that they would ever give that up? No. They're never going to give it up. They're going to use an evil thing to push even more evil. Typical female-minded liberal, including the males, thinking. Am I right? I'm also going to talk about some of the homeless crime, stabbings, knife attacks on the ladies. So wrong. So evil. And, you know, just generally the attack on the Second Amendment and the whites and freedom of speech, freedom to tell the truth, you know? But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I am also excited about the Easter Sunday service, archive service from 2013 that is coming out on Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel. I'm also excited, pumped, because Rumble has Jesse Lee Peterson's channel, Bond Rebuilding the Man's channel, and the Hake Report channel. So that's cool. And, of course, The Fallen State coming right up also on Bond, on a Rumble, rumble.com. Not that I know or that much about Rumble or am that particularly excited about it, but it's kind of nice when something works, you know? When technology works. Because we're also on BitChute, but BitChute only tends to auto-upload, and I like BitChute, but not that much, but okay. And I support them, actually. They only tend to upload the Fallen State and Jesse Lee Peterson channels. They don't auto-upload Bond Rebuilding the Man, but I upload it. And it doesn't upload the Hake Report either, even though we do have those channels in existence on those. So anyway, I should get on Gab. I am there, but I'm just not active on there. And I do have help with that, so appreciate that. It's Wednesday, guys. Let me jump right into this. You can call in, but let me jump right into this, these crimes. You know, we should be hearing, if we need to be hearing about some dead woman's name, you know, but we should be hearing about this Brianna Kupfer, not Breonna Taylor. or blah, 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 blah. Potentially criminal woman who was involved with a drug dealer at one point, and that is the reason she's dead. And her other boyfriend, she was sleeping with him, unmarried, and that is the reason she's dead, because that other boyfriend, who may also have been involved in mess, shot at cops in a knock and announce story, in a knock and announce thing, which people say, oh, cops frequently get shot in no-knock raids. Well, these people knocked and announced, and they still got shot. Hey, keep it clean. I know a lot of people disagree with me about the no-knock raids, because the reason that the liberals are attacking the no-knock raids are not because cops get shot in them, but because they want to pretend that Breonna Taylor was a no-knock thing. When some experts, one expert in particular, whom I listen to sometimes, Brandon Tatum, says that Breonna Taylor, he maintains that Breonna Taylor probably, he doesn't say probably, would be alive today had they done no-knock, because then there would not have been so much time to react. I don't know. Was Breonna Taylor a trap house? I don't think so. Was she a terrorist cell? No, I don't think so. So it would not pass the Amador rule about no-knock raids, saying no no-knocks for regular criminals, just for trap houses and things. But I don't know. Whatever. They knocked and announced that they were police. Was this guy shooting at the police knowingly or unknowingly? He got off, the Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. But Breonna Taylor, a black woman, dead. Shot in her bed. Not. She was shot in the hallway. Anyway, this Brianna Kupfer, I was perusing this crime website because I was looking at other stuff. I'll tell you what other stuff I was looking at. But back in January of 2022, last month, there was this article that came out. Homeless Sean Laval Smith arrested in this Brianna Kupfer murder. And look at this beautiful young woman, 24 years old, dead. 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 To get morbid like Joe Biden pretending I care about the dead people or the people's families. Nobody cares. But look at this. She, according to the story, texted that she got bad vibes from this black who came in, Sean Laval Smith, who came into her beautiful neighborhood store that she was working at as 24 years old, UCLA student, as I recall. And this 31-year-old guy was giving her bad vibes. She texted, I'm getting bad vibes. And like within 15 minutes after her text was sent, a customer found this young woman, in a pool of what was once circulating her body, keeping her alive. So wrong. Sorry, kids. Sorry, adults. But so evil. Stabbed to death. And then they found him like days later or weeks later. I guess it was days later. I don't know. And Hancock Park, this was a beautiful Hancock Park. Hancock Park is like rich area. Almost Beverly Hills. Very upscale. But why are we not hearing about her constantly? No, we're hearing about Breonna Taylor constantly. For years. He was caught in Pasadena at some other, inside some other restaurant. Terrible, huh? So he's arrested. He was arrested late last month. I think I may have touched on it, but I didn't really cover this story. I often don't tend to cover some of these crazy crimes that go on. In part because I'm not Colin Flaherty, the late, great Colin Flaherty. And there are others covering it now, covering these types of crimes. I mean, it's all over the news sometimes. But Real Vincent James covers stuff like this. But it's crazy. Homeless crime. Too bad she didn't listen to that warning. Oh, bad vibes. I mean, I don't know what she could have done. The suspect attacked the victim with a knife and fled the scene through the back door. Suspect and victim were not known to one another. Except she got that warning. And these homeless are committing all kinds of crimes. Because I was watching the Jesse Lee Peterson show, and I caught some glimpses over there on Fox News. Or Faux News. I was looking at the story of that Utah woman who let a 30-year-old homeless into her apartment to shower, and he slit her throat. And she's fighting for her life or in critical condition now. Eric Jones accused of attacking Utah woman, according to Oxygen.com, which is where I saw these articles, right? And it just reminded me of the stuff going on, these homeless attacking. And how frequently are these homeless attacks? How frequent are they? And some of these murderers have like long rap sheets, by the way. It's crazy. Eric Jones, I don't know. They don't really have a mugshot of this Eric Jones guy. Mike Levy speculates. I think it's speculation. He may know something I don't. But he says, white woman lets the black woman in. It might be Utah, you know, more heavy Mormon area, do-gooders feel that false guilt. A lot of the Mormons used to think negatively about the blacks, and then they changed their official stance on it. Mitt Romney pretended to be, so grateful about that. And now they just kiss up to the fake racism stuff. And they reelect rhinos like Mitt Romney, who's a sleazy person, not an honest politician at all. He marches in Black Lives Matter rallies. What a coward. As a rhino, Mitt Romney. You guys know. This woman had a cut across her throat. Terrible, huh? And that was different from this. I was confusing that story with another story of a homeless. I think he was a homeless, who you heard Tapface call in. Shout out to Tapface. Call into the Jesse Lee Peterson show. He was familiar with this weird-looking suspect story. Slain New York producer Christina Lee stabbed over 40 times. This crazy black was supposedly following her for, prosecutors say it was for sexual perversion. But they're also looking at whether racial animus was a motive, too. But look at this guy, and look at this young woman, Christina Lee. Look at this guy. He does not look right. Sick stuff, huh? And he's, what was he, 30, 35? And then she was 35? No, he was like 30 or 25, and she was 35 or something like that. A black chasing an Asian girl. Or is he a black? I don't know. He has a weird face and a weird name. But they're hyping this Asian victimhood stuff, and they're not hyping the fact that it is black on Asian. Christina Yuna Lee, 35, suffered more than 40 stab wounds in the deadly knife attack. And then Ahmaud Nash, 25, was arrested inside her apartment after killing. First-degree murder, burglary. She wasn't a fake do-gooder, apparently, letting him in. At least not that we know of. Not like the Utah woman. Hopefully she survives. I wish her well, whatever. Manhattan DA, oh gosh, the Manhattan prosecutors investigating whether racial animus or belief also factored into the murder. I roll my eyes at the Manhattan DA stuff because those are phony prosecutors who are investigating Trump, the Trump organization, and their finances and their tax stuff. It's so ridiculous. The 25-year-old allegedly, neighbors called police after they heard screams coming from Lee's 6th floor unit. The 25-year-old allegedly imitated a woman's voice in order to deter officers from entering the apartment. I laugh, but that's typical evil, right? Officers ultimately found him hiding under a bed in Lee's apartment. Wounds they believe he sustained during the attack. And the woman's partially naked body found on the bathroom floor. What a mess. So sick. And people want to feel all sorry for the fake victim homeless people. They call them advocates for the unhoused. Crazy. Crazy. And meanwhile, there's this attack on the whites. You know, the guys who killed, well, the one guy and his father and their neighbor friend who killed Ahmaud Arbery, they're getting prosecuted. They're trying to make a federal case out of a local crime. And I don't even know if it was necessarily a crime, honestly. This headline, I felt guilty. Ahmaud Arbery hate crime trial kicks off with neighbors' testimony. The neighbors testifying that I felt guilty. A lot of times people feel false guilt over seeing somebody die. Or false guilt over the white thing, the white on black thing, when usually it's black on white crime, right? Neighbors of these 3 guys, I say falsely convicted of murder. I don't know. Greg and Travis McMichael, former detective, former veteran. William Roddy Bryan, the neighbor who recorded the incident and followed the jogger over down in Georgia, convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery. And then the neighbors testified about how the killing shook them. Of course it's going to shake you. A lot of people have a fluttery, weak heart, right? 3 white men convicted of murdering blah, 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 blah. The neighbors testified in the hate crimes trial. So wrong. The feds should not be involved in this. We should abolish the hate crimes stuff. What's up to the Facebook crew and to the Twitch people? Yes, I am watching the Twitch chat as well. I'm watching all the chats that I can. As much as I can. This is Joe Biden, so phony. Father and son, Greg and Travis McMichael, armed themselves and used the pickup truck to chase. They were trying to stop him. They're like, hey, stop here. There's a citizen's arrest. But no, they changed the citizen's arrest law afterwards, and they decided it wasn't valid. And maybe it wasn't valid. I don't know. There's a guy, a black guy, whom I actually like, ABL, who says that it wasn't legitimate. Others say it was. But if it's confusing, why not give the benefit of the doubt to these guys, right? If it was a confusing law, I heard that there was an argument amongst the lawyers and judge for like 3 hours in this incident. That's what I heard. So it's crazy. And by the way, speaking of the attack on whites, let's get a little bit more lighthearted. Did you hear about the white thumbs up? Did I tell you about that? I might have shown it before. There was this article by NPR about white thumbs up. You know, the emoji when you text to people or tweet and all that stuff. And there was a headline tweet by NPR that showed the white thumbs up, and it says some white people may choose the plain yellow cartoon thumb rather than the white skin-colored thumb because it feels neutral. But some academics, like you're supposed to trust them. So dumb. Academics are stupid and evil. Stupid as in God haters, atheistic, secularists, foolish. the wisdom of man is foolishness to God, and God's wisdom is foolishness to man. Some academics argue that opting out of the white thumbs up signals a lack of awareness about white privilege, which is a fake idea, other than the privilege of having been raised right. And that's not our fault. You guys aren't raised right. Akin to society associating whiteness with being raceless. Give me a break. Which skin color emoji should you use? And so, I know some whites and Asians who use the dark black thumbs up. And Mexicans. They use the dark black thumbs up. And it's because we just think this race thing is funny. And there's this guy who put a clown emoji, which is a white supremacist dog whistle. Not so subtle dog whistle. Because the clown emoji is honk, honk. And honk, honk. I read this on the Crypto Report official, TKR official on not Tumblr. Sorry, not Tumblr. Telegram, that the HH, according to some SJW on Twitter, honk, honk, HH, 88 stands for, eighth letter of the alphabet, stands for Hail Hitler. So the clown emoji and honking is a white supremacist thing. That's why I encourage people follow, although if you have a tender heart, occasionally there's violent things depicted because there's violent stories going around, just the news. Follow that, what is that? What did I just say? Telegram account, TKR official. JLP Talk is also on there. Telegram. I'm on Telegram, the Hake Report. Such a joke, huh? So wrong. Ridiculous. So, and by the way, all the Asians look alike. Fact. I saw this trending on far left Twitter, which is not a platform, but a publisher. They pretend to be a platform. They let you, with a short leash, tweet until you're not hating whites quite enough. A protester. This is some pictures from this. I have some pictures from this Asian mayor activist confusion. This, according to Boston.com and far left Twitter publisher, a protester thought he was heckling. Did you know that Boston has a female Asian mayor? It's like a slap in the face. It's like London having a Muslim mayor. Michelle Wu, but it wasn't her. The incident seems to highlight racism Wu has faced since taking office. Shut up. Give me a break. You're supposed to have thick skin if you're going to be in politics. But no, they just want to go after the whites. Many of whom probably voted for this woman, to their shame. A protester interrupted a press conference on Monday criticizing a woman he thought was according to Boston.com, Mayor Michelle Wu, but it wasn't her. The incident appears to fit into a pattern of racism and sexism directed at Wu, the first woman and person of color elected to serve as mayor of Boston, serving herself and her phony ideology. She's a kiss up to the blacks. She even kissed up to that evil fake civil rights guy who's dead now, who used to talk about making good trouble. Was that a civil rights thing, or was that one of those phony poets who's talked about good trouble? We make good trouble. I want to say stupid, but I don't want to be a bad influence on the kids. Some background on this story. Allison Kuznets, whatever. The Election Modernization Coalition. They're trying to mess with our election integrity, right? By making it easy for every idiot to vote. Called on the legislature to include an election day registration. means you don't plan ahead. Whites plan ahead. POCs don't. Well, maybe Asians do, but they're not playing up for the Asians because, listen to this, same-day registration for the final version of the Votes Act. Representative Nika Elugardo, Nika, said the measure would increase voter turnout in Black and Latinx communities. Isn't that so wrong? So, of course, somebody's going to be outraged at this stupid thing. Because blacks and Hispanics, according to this woman herself, Nika Elugardo, blacks and Latinx, how embarrassing. Ridiculous. I just saw Chris's chat. I'm not even sure which story I was referring to. Dying from cringe. And they capitalized black, the B in the letter black. Oh, yeah, good trouble. Yeah, give me a break. Ugh. Barf. I want to spit. They admit that black and Latin people, the Latin people, they don't plan ahead. They just, oh, can I vote real quick? Ooh, I may be a felon, or I may be illegal, or I may be here not an actual citizen, or I may be an anchor baby. Can I register same day and vote? Increase voter turnout. Increasing voter turnout is not a value, okay? It's truly not. You want the sensible people to vote. Does that sound elitist? Well, Trump said you're the elite. Was he talking to you? Was he talking to you? I think he might have been talking to you, some of you. Not all of you, for sure. Not all of you in the snake pit. Not all of you hate listeners. But some of you are the elite. And yes, we should be elitist, the real kind, where people who care about the country, love the country, the actual kind of care, not the phony, emotional care, like these females, but the actual know what's right for the country. You should vote, not these, I want to say evil idiots, but I don't want to be a bad influence on the kids. Allison Kuznets went on a tweet, the press conference at the Boston Common was derailed by a protester. One protester derailed the whole thing? Well, it is possible. Yelling about the ACLU. Right on, Mr. Protester. And we don't have video footage. I haven't seen video footage. I just hear this report, right? I mean, read the report. I would love to hear his side of the story. But he directed his complaints at Beth Huang. Beth Huang, executive director of the Massachusetts Voter Table, whom he erroneously thought was Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. Michelle Wu, Beth Huang. So Beth Huang tweeted, if only being a 5'4" Asian woman imbued me with the powers of being mayor of Boston. And Beth Huang does indeed look a little bit like Michelle Wu, a little, especially if she's both 5'4", as same as the other one. And then so this Michelle Wu, with the Chinese characters in her name, and she is mayor, so-called, of Boston, Massachusetts. Wow, how far Boston has fallen. Shout out to the Boston people. We should make some good trouble with this. And she shared a couple of dainty Asian lady emojis, or at least black-haired, light-skinned emojis. It used to be that people of color just meant black, I think. Am I mistaken? Yeah, white man from town agrees with me. All Asians look alike. I can tell I can tell the difference sometimes, but sometimes, even with like my longtime friends, I grew up amongst Asians and Hispanics, right? And they think that about us too sometimes. But you should see the caricatures, the Asian caricatures of the Europeans and the whites. They have these protruding noses because the Asians have like a flat face. But it's racist if whites have a caricature of the Asian or of the black. Give me a break. Or of the Latino, the Latin people. Psh. Ridiculous. Oh, there was something that they were saying, though. funny because it didn't seem totally natural, these quotes. You're a political puppet, said this supposed protester, heckler. You're a political puppet. Why don't you look into it, Mayor Wu? The protester said, apparently thinking that Wu was among the group leading the conference. Look into that. You'll find the truth, Mayor Wu. What is he even talking about? I didn't even really look into the story, what he was complaining about. He may have a valid complaint if he was yelling against the ACLU. Puppet. Let's see. I don't even see it. Oh, okay. The ACLU requested the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court to dismiss over 40,000 cases that were impacted by some incident in some Annie Ducan, former state chemist who fabricated evidence in approximately 24,000 cases. Whoa. Oh, he said ACLU does not care about minority communities and called on officials. So was this even wait a minute. Was this even a white? Oh, gosh. Who even knows? Who even knows? Interesting. This may not have been if he's saying, wait, the protester, an unidentified man, didn't say white man, wearing sunglasses and a mask, probably not a conservative, if he's wearing a mask, just saying, claimed that the American Civil Liberties Union does not care about minority communities and called on officials to probe criminal cases that involved Annie Ducan, a former state chemist who fabricated evidence in approximately 24,000 cases. ACLU requested Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court dismiss over 40,000 cases impacted by Ducan back in 2016. Huh? What a confusing story. If they ask for the cases to be dismissed, how can he say that they don't care about minority communities? I mean, I don't want them to care about minority communities. I want them to get out, too. We should deport the ACLU, the American so-called Civil Liberties Union, because they attacked Trump. They were endlessly doing lawsuits against our real president, Donald J. Trump, with case after case after case. They were involved in everything evil. They support killing the babies. They support illegal immigration. They support attacking the whites. They don't support actual free speech. Have you ever heard the ACLU? They pretend to be for so-called civil liberties. Have you ever heard them condemn Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google, GoDaddy, the attack over there up in Canada? I mean, I know that they're the quote-unquote American Civil Liberties Union, but they haven't piped up about that stuff, up about the attacks on freedom, the shutdowns, the communist shutdowns, because they are communist. The ACLU. There's this black, can I say stupid? Evil woman, Michelle Alexander, light skin, radical, who wrote The New Jim Crow, colorblind, mass incarceration in the age of colorblindness. They pretend colorblindness is like I don't know. They pretend that that's a real thing and that that's a bad thing. You know how justice is supposed to be blind, right? Not factor in your race. But they don't want it to. They want it to factor in the race. And if you're white, normal person, they want it to count against you. ACLU. Sick people. This evil woman whom I just mentioned, she worked for the driving while black portion of the ACLU, which is a total myth. This driving while black myth. Hate hoaxes, yeah. That means if you get pulled over, you're more likely to get pulled over by cops just because you're black. No, it's because blacks have a record. More of a worse driving record. It's in the National Traffic Highway Safety Administration stuff. It's a fact. They die in car accidents at like twice their share of car owners. And those who die in car accidents are more likely, per a report referenced by the great John R. Lott Jr., crimeresearch.org. He wrote an article debunking the phony Ferguson report, because the Ferguson report was saying, oh, blacks disproportionately these tickets. Well, no. Nationwide, they are a mess. They're more likely to have their prior moving violations and stuff. Everybody knows it. So phony. Speaking of the censorship, guys, did you hear about this? Defiant L's was suspended on Twitter. You guys heard of Defiant L's? Are you on Twitter? Some of you guys are on Twitter, and you keep a low profile. Do you guys get yourselves not banned by doing so? That's wise. There is some interesting stuff on Twitter, believe it or not. And then I will read your super chats, guys. Account suspended, Defiant L's. And I think L stands for loser or liberal, which is another word for communist or anti-white or anti-man or dumb woman or something like that. POC. The POC that's all into the POC thing and hates whites, right? And even Representative Thomas Massie, the congressman, the Republican, seems like an okay guy to me. And quite an engineer, too. I think he powers his home or heats his home or cools his home with an old Tesla battery. Wow. Impressive. Those whites, I tell you. He said, I shared a tweet from an account today, and now that account is suspended. And he shares these screenshots. Thomas Massie, yesterday, 15th of February. Is it Valentine's week, ladies? Just thought of that. Never mind. Let's not get too into that. And he tweets about the case of Quintez Brown. Quintez Brown was, according to a report I saw on Fox News on Tucker Carlson, a Black Lives Matter communist agitator who received like a Obama award or something like that back in the day. But as of the other day, just another angry black who went off the deep end. This mental illness is so bad among the liberals and among all people. It's affecting everybody too. I mean, not everybody, but it's affecting people across the board. But it seems to be disproportionate among the liberals. This guy, and it's not mental illness that causes people to do these evil things. It is, as JLP says, anger. You can't trust an angry person. He was a black propped up, this Quintez Brown guy was a black propped up by MSNBC previously. You know, with that Black Joy Reid woman, evil woman, black-hearted. This guy shot at, and I saw this headline a couple of days ago. I almost covered it. Shot at, and he grazed the sweatshirt at the back of, and you could see in like video on this report that I saw, the back of his sweatshirt had like a hole in it. Grazed the sweatshirt of this this white Jewish Louisville, Kentucky mayoral candidate. I don't know what this guy wanted to do, but it's interesting because a couple of years ago, in July of 2019, he wrote in the USA Today, propped up apparently, Courier Journal, Kentucky's concealed carry law shows your life doesn't matter to gun-loving Republicans. I have a question. How many concealed carry permit owners commit murders? I just wonder. So dumb. What a dumb, evil communist. And he wrote that in 2019. And now A new Courier Journal report from out February 14th, Monday evening. Activist Quintez Brown. And that was an article by Quintez Brown. Nick says that he remembers reading about how concealed carry permit owners commit crimes less frequently even than police. And did you know that occasionally police even commit crimes? And sometimes it's even recorded. Okay, that's if he remembers correctly. It may be true. I can believe it. I drive better than the police, so I don't get nervous when I'm driving around the cops. Some people are like, oh, cops here, slow down. Oh, I'm already driving slow. Activist Quintez Brown named in attempted shooting of Louisville mayor candidate Greenberg. What's up with Louisville? Louisville, Kentucky. For years, they've had problems with, like, these black mass mobs. Like, they'll go, as the word goes, wilding. Wilding. Scott Adams, you guys know Scott Adams? Scott Adams suggested just disarming the Democrats, and that would greatly reduce crime. And Democrats, one of my liberal Asian friends, is that too specific? I have many. Is a word that he uses instead of blacks. He just calls them Democrats. Sorry, blacks. You know we love you. Cops always commit crimes, says Covert Overt. You guys want to have another fight about the... You guys want to have another fight about the no-knock raids? Anyway, so, very interesting. Is that why? I don't know. I don't know. But Thomas Massey shared, and Defiant L frequently will show, like, the hypocrisy. He'll show an older tweet, not that much older, from some liberal saying something pretending to be fair-minded, and then the same liberal will say something that directly contradicts what they pretended to be about, or that just shows that they're total hypocrites, which is not. Oh, the liberals are hypocrites. It's not a big discovery, but it just shows that these people are communists. They don't care about consistency at all. They just care about holding you to your own rules, but they don't even they don't even believe in your rules or even accurately portray your rules. You'll hear people calling in, haters calling in, you have anger. They don't even believe that anger is wrong to have. And they don't even see reality. I was chuckling because somebody said, stop being immoral, James, you cop-loving woman. Cop, as in police. Crazy. You can call in 888-775-3773. I am wearing my excellent Better Not Bitter t-shirt, which is not mine. It is from Bond, Rebuilding the Man. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. I got to read some super chats, guys. Bibby42 baby gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report and stated, I just sent a super to JLP on accident, Hake. Oh, okay, let me check. Oh, streamlabs.com. The subject of Breonna Taylor is so evil it makes me want to spit. And it made me jump the gun, meaning donate to JLP rather than to Hake. Also wanted to say happy birthday, Hake. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. It is Wednesday, February 16th. Tomorrow is the 17th. And my birthday is also on the 17th of July of 2021, in which I turned 40. The big O. So, Bibby42, I found the super chat over there on JLP. Hey, Breonna Taylor had a lot of evil in her soul. she was fired as an EMT. And I don't even think that she was really an EMT. She was like volunteering or something, or I don't think that she would be the type to volunteer. Maybe she was making some money, right? Anyway, she was involved in the drug game, says Bibi Bay 42 Bebe. And that is something that I think that she was like knee deep or waist deep or something in this crime stuff. Or mess, anyway, per Brandon Tatum, former officer, black guy. She was involved in the drug game, and the dead body in the trunk of her rental vehicle, is that true? I knew that it was involved in some way in some murder, but a dead body in the trunk of a vehicle that she rented tells me, whoa, he says justice was served on her. You know? And that's a form of justice. That's not the going through the court system of justice, of course, right? We're not for the lynching stuff, but she was not lynched. She was shot in the crossfire because her boyfriend shot at the cops, maybe unknowingly, maybe he thought it was somebody else, and the cops returned fire. I'd recommend the silent prayer, but she dead, says Bibi 42 Bebe. Yeah. Well, thank you. He goes on. I mean, just take one look at Ms. Taylor. She even looks evil, pure evil. Am I right? You want to Google a picture of Breonna Taylor for this? And then afterwards, we can cleanse our palate with a picture of that other dead woman, the 24-year-old other Brianna. But yeah, Breonna Taylor, I don't know. I didn't think of her as looking that evil. I mean, she is kind of fat and black. And she was probably she was a mess. But, you know, she had a nice smile. Baby 42, baby. By the way, I checked out his YouTube channel, and somebody showed me, is Joelle dancing for good or for evil? And he has other videos. Man, nice work. Lord Bibi 42. Did you find a picture of Brianna? It might take a while. Well, thank you. Let me read some more super chats. Ledge Klinger over there on Odyssey, odyssee.com/@the Hake Report /live. Ledge Klinger, thank you, man. He states, Hake, logically, there is no difference between the terms people of color and colored people. Thus, if only to illustrate that point, I pose an unsolicited suggestion that you use the term colored people on your show to highlight the obvious attempt to control your language. Keep speaking truth. Well, I appreciate that, Ledge Klinger. CP time. Colored people. Oh, yeah, Greenberg is not a Christian name. That Louisville mayoral candidate. Here's the picture of oh, yeah, they show this picture as if that's what she was doing when she was sleeping around with a second boyfriend after being girlfriends with a drug dealer. And the drug dealer, by the way, said that if he had been with Brianna that night, he said that she would be alive today because he doesn't shoot at cops. Look at her looking like she's all responsible, wearing a EMT. EMT is like emergency medical care, some type mess. Outfit, and this is from like years. This is probably from like maybe months. Maybe it's months prior to her passing. But there she is. Which, is that the boyfriend who shot at the cops? There she is. She looks evil to you, Lord Bibi 42? I don't know. It's kind of like a sweet-looking fruit that's all rotten on the inside and a little bloated. Because that's a nice smile. Nice little sunset evening with her man. She should not have been sleeping around. Rest in peace, I guess. And now show the other Brianna, the pretty white woman who, not to be too in poor taste. I don't like being all morbid. Like, Joe Biden, dead, dead, dead. But we should also keep in mind victims of actual crimes, like this lady, young lady. That's Brianna. See, I forgot her name. It's probably good to forget people's names, honestly. Brianna, Brianna, a normal spelling. Kupfer, Kupfer. Brianna Kupfer. If it were a just world, I guess if it were a just world, the homeless guy wouldn't have even stabbed her. But people want to hype this Breonna Taylor woman because of attacking the whites. So sick. You know? Anyway, I appreciate the super chats, guys. Did I get to all of them? Let me know if I ever miss a super chat, people, some way. You can email me or whatever. Let me get to a first-time caller. Landry, first-time caller out of Washington, D.C. Landry, how are you doing?
Hey, Hake, how you doing?
Doing fine. Thanks for calling.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy White History Month.
No, you see, that's the thing. You see, I can't wait for July to celebrate White History Month as
Nice.
we all created.
Are you
Okay,
are you on a speakerphone? You sound kind of far away or something. It's a little quiet for my taste.
I was sorry. Is it better now?
Yeah, much better. I appreciate that.
Okay, maybe you didn't hear what I said. I said Happy Black History Month.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Say it back to me. Happy Black History Month.
No, I don't want to say it back. I don't encourage Black History Month. That's lame.
What do you? But you encourage White History Month.
Yeah.
And why?
Because whites need to be appreciated. Blacks do not need to be kissed up to. Black History Month is about kissing up to blacks. White History Month is about appreciation, especially for the white forefathers. And it's an appeal to the whites to stop being lame, the whites living today.
No, yeah, I agree that, okay, there's this narrative of, like, kind of, I'm a French speaker, I'll try to speak my English, right?
Oh, okay.
I know there's a narrative about demonizing, quote-unquote, white ness or something like that.
Right.
But does that mean that because of that, we shouldn't celebrate other people that have contributed to building this great nation?
I appreciate normal Black Americans. And those normal Black Americans, such as Jesse Lee Peterson, the great Clarence Thomas. You?
The great Landry.
But you're a French speaker. Are you Haitian or something?
No, I'm actually Central African.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Welcome to America. But those guys aren't into the Black History Month thing, and you just appreciate them by being for what's right, because they're not into the black thing.
So then you are into the white thing, though. You are.
Me? I don't think so.
You just told me you can't wait for. You just told me White History Month after I told you Happy Black History Month.
Right. But you can't wait for White History Month either, and you're not into the white thing, I don't think.
No, and I am Black, right? And I'm all for appreciating everybody, right? Everybody, including Blacks, including whites.
Yeah.
But you don't want to appreciate Blacks at all.
No, not Blacks as a race, because Blacks as a race, they're all into the race thing, and they're into hating whites, and they're puppets. To quote this other person who, they're hypnotized by others, not normal whites, into hating the normal whites.
But hate though, hate.
What's that?
You don't know every black person to make that assumption.
Well, no, in general, the blacks who are into the black thing are suckers for that. Some of them do recognize that, oh, this is an unfair attack on the whites. The media hates whites.
And do you love those black people?
Yeah. If I love anybody, I do.
So why don't you also appreciate the slaves or the blacks right? That the great forefathers and those people took from Africa or the Arabs,
Yeah.
however you guys want to
Oh,
call
no,
it.
I totally appreciate the slaves. The slaves, some of them were cool.
No, but hey,
Because they were dignified slaves back then, I think, some of them.
Oh my God! So would you want slavery back?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
I don't think that I wouldn't want to own a slave, and I wouldn't want to be a slave.
Right.
And so I don't think that I don't think that people really think. I think that we already kind of have slavery back, which is what the government wants to do with us. They want us to be comfortable slaves who think we have our freedom, but you can't step outside of the bounds. You know what I mean?
Anyway, let's not get out of topic.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Let's not get Black History Month. Hey, celebrate. You have to celebrate Black History. Just like I'm not a white person, and I am grateful.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful, and I'm going to celebrate White History Month with you all in July.
Okay, so
yes.
you acknowledge that there's an attack on whites, but do you acknowledge that there's too much kissing up to blacks?
Yeah, but I just believe that it doesn't mean that because of that, because they're being, like, let's say they're being used, right, they're puppets, right, because of their fallen state, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't also celebrate them, right? You got to love everybody and treat everybody the same.
Okay, so...
Maybe by loving them, they'll come out of their fallen state.
But loving them doesn't mean celebrating this fake thing called Black History Month, which has always been contrived. The precursor to Black History Month was created in 1926. That's amid the communist mess. When historian Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History announced the second week of February would be Negro History Week. I don't know who this Carter G. Woodson guy is, but I don't trust him. And the whole Black History Month thing, I didn't grow up with that mess. Granted, I didn't grow up with White History Month, but I did grow up seeing, whites falsely smeared for being racist when they're just, any time that they act remotely like a normal anybody would act. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this Black History Month is phony stuff. Mm-hmm. You just heard me, I appreciate the honorable black men and ladies. And I totally appreciate the dignified slaves. I appreciate what I heard of Booker T. Washington, up from slavery. Mm-hmm. He said something about the homeless that I really love. He said, if you see a bum, he didn't call them homeless because they were bums back then. If you see a bum on the street, they did something that got them there. They're not just some innocent victim for the most part, right? So I don't even think he said for the most part.
I will call you every single week to make sure you all this month of February, I'll call you so that you can celebrate Black History Month. I will do that.
How come you fell for it? You're African.
I know, but I'm not into the black victim. I know, because I'm making six figures and I came here like 3 years ago, so I'm not into the black victimization thing. But I like to promote treating everybody the same, loving everybody, even in their fallen state. Because when you love them, eventually, and you show them the way, they can come out of it, and so that's what I believe in, right? So,
do you donate to Bond?
I don't know. I don't know how to. Can you? I've DM'd you guys. I don't know what's the link to do that. I don't know how to do that.
Oh, donate to Bond? It's rebuildingtheman.com/donate.
Is that link pasted on your? Because I'm on the phone and YouTube is on my phone. Is that link posted on below your page or something?
Let me see. In my let's say in my YouTube descriptions, I do have rebuildingtheman.com down below because it says James reads Hake News on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, where he's also an expert. He produces Church for Jesse's nonprofit Bond, dedicated to rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man, which is good for blacks and it's good for all people. And it says rebuildingtheman.com. So you can go there and you click on rebuildingtheman.com, and then there is indeed a donate button. So
okay, I'll do that right after.
Right on, man.
This call.
That's cool.
But Hake, before I go, But I see the Confederate flag on your computer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This thing.
But are you like an alt-right or no?
I considered myself alt-right friendly. I didn't know anything about them, so I was never really alt-right, but I was alt-right friendly, meaning those guys tend to be for a white country, which is what really we should stay, is a white majority country, honestly, because that's good for everybody. So in this, I guess you could say yes, but the Confederate flag is not really an alt-right flag. It's an American flag. I show that because the South is unjustly smeared. You know, they're called rednecks, and as if that's a bad thing and stuff. So I appreciate, you know, the Confederate flag was, the rebel flag was taken down by Amazon. You can't even buy or sell stuff with related to this beautiful flag because of the liberals attacking the whites in the South over imaginary racism.
So hey,
yeah.
Then so if you want a majority white country,
which is what we have right now, I think, maybe. But we should improve it. What's that?
No, we are a majority. This is a majority white country, right? Because they're all right. I think they want a separation of their race. Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Some of them want the separation, yeah. Which people should be. Yeah, I think that people should be free to segregate amongst themselves, and if localities want to be segregated, that's their right.
So, and you would not mind that. You would not mind being said. How about Jesse and Nick? They're all different races. What are you gonna do with them? You guys won't work together anymore. That's
not what would happen. With free association, free association means we have the freedom to associate or not. But right now they have this thing called forced integration and anti-discrimination. Discrimination is a basic right that we all should have. Yeah.
Oh, hey, so there's nothing I can do to make you celebrate Black History Month?
No way, man. You can bring up a black figure and I can decide whether he's honorable or not. But you know, Asmodor states with the super chat on Odyssey, blacks made no significant contribution to building America. Slavery did not build America. Slavery picked cotton, and maybe some of them helped build the White House. But we would have gotten some other workers had it not been for the slaves. It's not like they were the ones who architectured it, if that's a verb.
Yeah, but you know, but it was God's will that some of the slavery, even if it's just paying cotton, they still.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There is no loss of dignity in so-called menial jobs. I appreciate the janitor, anyone who works.
But hey, Glenn, even you yourself, you were not present back in those days when they were building this country.
Right. Yep. Correct.
Exactly. At least those slaves were there, and they helped build the country. Why is it bad to not why you guys not celebrating Juneteenth and things like that?
Oh gosh, because those things are rooted in hatred. A lot of times, this false appreciation for one's own race, just like love, quote unquote love. You know how the gays think that they love, and other people, men and women, think that they love each other. That's rooted in hatred and false pride and pleasing yourself. That's not rooted in actual normal appreciation for the other person. It's rooted in selfishness and falsely identifying. You feel good because Harriet Tubman is going to get on the dollar bill or something, when Harriet Tubman didn't know you and she doesn't care about you. She's dead.
And the forefathers didn't know you, Hake. They did not know you either.
But I appreciate. But the forefathers were honorable men who should be appreciated and remembered as good examples that we should pattern after some of the stuff that they did that was good and believed that was good.
But the slaves shouldn't be appreciated.
The slaves should totally be appreciated, but not for Black History Month and not for Juneteenth.
But then the July should be.
But the people who don't appreciate the slaves are the people who also don't appreciate the slave owners. They want to tear down the slave owners. If it weren't for the slave owners, we wouldn't have had the slaves.
Because it was forced labor. Would you want to be forced into slavery?
No. But you should still appreciate the slave owners. They did great things.
No, because if you force somebody to do something, it's not a great thing. But
yeah, it is. It definitely can be a great thing.
Wow. Hey, happy Black History Month, man. Just please.
No, man. I got to go, Landry. Nice talking with you.
All right, man. I'll call you again.
All right, sounds good. Right, take care. The one line open, guys. I will get to you. We are past the top of the hour. I didn't mean to talk with him so long. Do you want to enjoy some noise music? Do you want to enjoy some noise music? Or it's not music. Is it noise? This is Hollydrift, guys. Hollydrift, I've been playing. 2004 album, Waiting for the Tiller. This is the 6th track on the CD by Matthias Anderson, who is Hollydrift. Shout out, man. I don't know if he knows me or likes me. Mary Red Majorette is the name of this track. Enjoy Mary Red Majorette. M-A-R-Y. Red Majorette. It's another 8.5 minute song or so. Not a song. So I'll probably be talking you through it. Grin and bear it, you musical Philistines. Press mute, but come off of mute after a couple minutes because I'll be coming back and chatting you through it. Enjoy. I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Hollydrift.
117-107. Go ahead.
This music does not spark joy, says Sho Shugino. Are you guys enjoying it? Silent Hill music. This ain't music. It's Jewish subversion, says Watchman for you. Whoa. I don't think so. I think this man is a Christian. Maybe not a normal Christian, though. Hake said he never smoked pot, but what about these mushrooms, though? Nope. Misty is waiting for the tiller. I'm waiting for the tiller. Only 5 more minutes to go, guys, or 4, or something like that. Hake is on acid. No, don't do that, kids. What? This can't be real. No one. Hake, you have serious issues. This isn't music, Hake. Can't take this, Hake. I'm out. Bye. Well, shout out, Nugget Man. Cool watch, Hake Man. We're looking at the album art from this. Isn't this nice? Release. Release. This music. Oh yeah, I already read that. A computer committing suicide. It might be mildly like disturbing or unsettling, but it's also kind of, I don't know, I kind of like it. Sort of fascinating. Sort of nostalgic. Reminds me of the 80s movies for some reason. And older. No one chills to this. I'm gonna speak for everyone on this one. Pretentious, artsy, fartsy noise. Gotta mute that mess. Trying to call ya. One line open. We'll pick up. This is some weird stuff, man. Poltergeist. What's poltergeist? Well, guys, I appreciate you guys enjoying this music with me. We are closer now because of this. Lawnmower music. This is ugly. You know, since we're having this disturbing sounds, let me talk about a disturbing topic. These mass shootings, guys. Can you hear my voice? Press 1 if you can hear me. Taylor Swift would not approve, Hake. Remember that Sandy Hook shooting? I doubt that these mass shooters listened to this music. Or this noise, whatever you want to call it. Adam Lanza, was he not the young man, male, who shot up Newtown, Connecticut school? You're upsetting the German Shepherd, Hake. Thanks for listening. Special thanks to God, Jeff, and Debbie, writes Matthias Anderson of Hollydrift. I really enjoy this album. Or enjoyed it. But I was telling about Adam Lanza, mass murdered children and some adults at a school that his mother worked at, or I don't even know if he attended the school. Back in 2012, near Christmas time, it was in December. We had a recent Throwback Sunday service about it. I think it was about it, or maybe it was about a different thing. Nicholas Cruz, by the way, liked Mac DeMarco, Foster the People. Are they the ones who said, all the little kids with the pumped up kicks better run faster than my bullet? Oh, yes. Wow. I laugh, but that's so wrong. Not good. Nicolas Cruz with a K, not to be confused with Nicolas Gonzalez. Anchor Baby's new show. Isn't that nice? The quiet. Well, let me tell you about some fallout from this evil act that mentally ill, son of divorce, lived with his mother, killed his mother, and then killed these kids and killed some adults, sorry, kids, and then shot himself and killed himself. Adam Lanza. The gun grabbers, the anti-Second Amendment people, got this $73 million settlement with Remington over it. Remington? Remington Bushmaster was the gun, one of the guns that this so-called AR-15 style rifle. 2012 mass shooting, Sandy Hook Elementary School. $73 million settlement with so-called families of the victims who died, who got shot. 20 children, 6 adults that day. The deal marks the first time a gun maker has been held liable for a mass shooting. The families say it could provide a blueprint. Families, these are liberal activists. Newtown, Connecticut. Am I right, or am I right that New England is filled with a bunch of dumb, evil liberals? Liberals? Connecticut. Psh. That's the Northeast. I mean, the Northeast, Vermont, didn't they elect Senator Bernie Sanders, the socialist guy? Scum of the earth. Anyway, that blueprint is to go after a firearm company's so-called marketing tactics. 2005 federal law grants gun makers broad immunity from litigation when their products lead to violence. Their products never lead to violence. Their products may be used in acts of violence, but that's what the products are for, acts of violence. And hopefully it's the good guys acting violent against the bad guys and taking them down. Or just flashing a gun. More crimes are stopped by guns than are committed by guns. Did you know that? I think it's a fact. Anyway, Sandy Hook family sued Remington on grounds it violated Connecticut's consumer protection law through unfair marketing tactics. So dumb. So evil. These so-called families, I don't know why these people, Morning Brew calls them families. They're far left, enemies of actual families. Claimed Remington marketed the rifle to at-risk young males by running an ad that featured a rifle in the phrase, "Consider your man card reissued." This gun was purchased and owned by his mother, Adam Lanza's mother, if I'm not mistaken. Hat tip to Jim Justice, right? I think Jim Justice is the one who said that in the chat after I read about this in Hake News at the end of one of the hours of the Jesse Lee Peterson show today. Remington's gone bankrupt since the shooting, by the way. Denied that its marketing was connected to the shooting. Landmark settlement comes one day after the 4-year anniversary of the school shooting in Parkland, Florida. That's the one with Nicholas Cruz. Yeah, it was Valentine's Day 2018 when Nicholas Cruz shot up that school, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, another liberal town. And he was another guy who was getting in trouble and shouldn't have even, maybe he should have been in jail. Gun rights activists staged a protest near the White House and pressed Biden to do more to strengthen gun laws. What? Those are not gun rights activists. That's a misnomer. I remember, you may recall back in this incident, 2012, Barack Hussein Obama gave a televised address on the day of the shootings. We're going to have to come together and take meaningful action to prevent more tragedies like this, regardless of the politics. No, because that's all you believe in is politics, evil liar Obama. Adam Lanza also killed his mama and himself. I have pictures of this guy, some headlines of this Adam Lanza guy, because in these school mass shootings, because it's just an interesting side note. Sandy Hook dad wishes his son was never born. The dad had not even seen his son in a couple of years. Look at that. I remember when this news came out, 2014. I was working as a producer for the JLP show at that point. The father of Sandy Hook Elementary School gunman, so-called gunman, Adam Lanza, gun male, says he carried guilt about his son's violent rampage, wishes his son was never born. You can't get any more evil, Peter Lanza told the New Yorker in an article in March 17th issue. How much do I beat myself up about the fact he's my son? A lot. Look at that little boy with his wide eyes. Messed up mama and messed up upbringing. 20-year-old killed his mother, murdered 26 others before taking his own life. Peter and Adam's mother, Nancy Lanza, had divorced. Peter Lanza and Adam Lanza's mother, Nancy Lanza, had divorced when Adam was in elementary school. Peter said he'd tried to reconnect, but Adam continued to withdraw, ignoring his father's requests. See? And the liberals are for these broken families. They're for this women's empowerment stuff and for women divorcing the fathers. The feminists are for that mess. Also, I got some pictures of this because I was talking about Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin was falsely smeared by the failing New York Slimes back in like 2017 after another so-called mass shooting, mass murder. That was in a different 2011. Jared Lee Loughner was a mess. Interesting background in his story. Jared Lee Loughner shot up that Gabby Giffords woman who was a female congressman, a Democrat. She was shot in the head. She kind of had like brain damage or something. And then she was shot and then she recovered and then she became an anti-Second Amendment activist, even worse. Look at this guy. He looks weird. That's one of his smiling mugshots. Jared Lee Loughner. He was 22 when he was tripping out because a second girlfriend had broken up with him. Needing the woman. You guys a crooked nose. There's her back when she was younger and prettier. I think that was a 2010 shot before she was shot. Gabby Giffords. Pretty lady. Now that's her from a couple of years ago. Gaining a little weight. And she's an anti-gun activist. But this guy, oh my gosh. Like this guy was a Palin fan. Not even. This guy who shot her and shot and killed others in Tucson, Arizona, I guess. She was doing this outside event, outside a Safeway supermarket, trying to pretend like she was all of the people. You know, these phony women try to act like they're acting in the best interests of the people. Not. This guy, he was anti-theist. So Sarah Palin, very pro-Christian, right? Purportedly. And this guy, he had laughed when he was in college and some dumb fellow student, female, read this poem that she wrote or something like this about an abortion that she'd gotten. And so he was making inappropriate jokes about terrorism and aborted babies and laughing. And he became just highly inappropriate after his second girlfriend broke up with him and he got on his drugs. Adam Lanza, somebody said he was on SSRIs, the guy up in Connecticut. And this guy, he looked like he got issues. And that anger. He was all into alcohol, tobacco. Oh no, he gave up alcohol, tobacco, and recreational drugs in 2008. Didn't use since. He had been rejected as unqualified in the Army. He admitted to marijuana use on numerous occasions. But he was called a pothead, but he got into other drugs, I think. Crazy. But he hated George W. Bush and he hated Gabby Giffords. Registered independent, and then I forget what he was. The Guardian tried to say he was touting Tea Party propaganda. I think he touted both the left wing and the right wing so-called conspiracy theories. The dude was just plain nuts, to quote MK Ultra over there in the chat. Yeah, anger drives you nuts. Doesn't matter how high your IQ is. You're just more sophisticated with your evil, which is the case. Quick super chat before I get back to calls, guys. Animus. Animus gave a super chat and said, if you take your black back to Africa with all your black money and build a banana plant for all the little jungle N-words and then declare Black History Month in Africa, I'll celebrate it with you like 90 going north. That's what Animus says. Expressing some level of animus, perhaps. Funny, though. And that's a reference to the caller whom I was on the phone with about a half hour ago or 20 minutes ago. Wow, time is flying. Well, I appreciate it, Animus. I'm sorry I had to censor you. I didn't have to, but I did. Anyway, boy, let me get to Skip in Augusta, Georgia. How are you doing, Skip?
Hey, James, what's going on, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's 74 degrees down here in Georgia, man. It's like springtime.
It's about 85 or 90 inside of this studio here. But anyway,
yeah,
nice.
I can tell your forehead looks kind of greasy, like
I know.
Stacey Abrams been eating chicken.
Very true.
Hey, look here. What you think about that Super Bowl halftime, which they always perverted every year? But this year, they seem to focus mainly on hip-hop and rap. That's what they said. It was a combination of hip-hop and rap.
Yeah.
And they are catering to the blacks, and they only make up 13% of the population. And if you notice the television shows, a lot of the movies, even YouTube has a special black creator segment or part of the YouTube program. What do you see us in 5 to 10 years with all this, the way it's going, Hake?
In 5 to 10 years, if they keep this up, I think it may, if you can even imagine it, be even worse. It may be even worse. Because right now it's pretty bad. People are openly hating whites just explicitly. And any truth to the POCs is getting stifled. So it's going to be, I mean, I'm not good at predicting stuff, but it's hopefully an awakening will help turn a little bit, at least fight back and kind of
you're right about that. You're right about predicting stuff. It's hard to predict stuff, but just looking at how it's been going the past 10 years, and it getting worse and worse every year. If nothing happens, it's going to continue to get worse. And I'm afraid to see what it's going to be like. I really am, man. Blacks are just out of control. And I got something for the last guy that called you. He's talking about Black History Month.
Yeah.
Ask him to look up the Black Astronaut Program. I did a story on that, and it's fascinating, man.
Okay.
I acknowledge the Black history, all month, but it's hard to find Black history stories. But I have found one about Black aviators, and I found one about the Black astronaut, and I'll tell you what, it's something else. But this country was built on the backs of blacks. You know that, right?
That's what they claim. Ridiculous.
Well, that's what they say, Hake. But if you think about it, this country is being destroyed by the blacks. They're not bringing anything good to the table. Nothing whatsoever. They're bringing division, and I'm all for division. If you want division, go get your part of the country and live over there. Like we got 97 acres here in Georgia that they're trying to make a black city or whatever. And I had a friend of mine ride by and take a picture and show it to me. And it's nothing but woods out there. I mean, they haven't done nothing since they've been out there.
It should be division based on truth, though, and love, not based on hate and lies.
You're right. You're right about that. But you handled old Buddy good about the thing about he was saying the White History Month, and then you choose to be you got the choice to choose to be around black people or Asian people,
right,
or Puerto Rican people. You're not forced to. No one should be forced to be around anyone.
Yeah.
We should have that choice, that free choice to make. Yep.
Well, I appreciate it, Skip. It's nice to hear from you.
All right, nice to talk to you, James. I'll holler at you later, brother.
All right, take care. Bye. Let me get to Joe in Phoenix, Arizona. How are you doing, Joe?
Good morning, James.
Hey, morning.
James, have you heard of James Armistead?
James Amistad?
Armistead, yes.
I may have heard that name.
He was a spy in the Revolutionary War. He spied on General Cornwallis and General Benedict Arnold once he went over to the Brits. According to
And he was an
Lafayette-
enslaved black.
No, he wasn't.
According to Wikipedia, which is more reliable than Joe from Phoenix, Arizona, although only marginally so.
Nice slam.
It says,
that one alone.
It says James Amistad Lafayette. I don't know if that's a different one.
No, same guy. Same guy.
Born 1748 or 1760, died 1830 or 1832. Was an enslaved African American. Fake news. Black American.
He started off, if that's what you meant, perhaps I misunderstood you. He started off as a slave.
He served in the Continental Army during the American Revolutionary War.
That's right.
Under the
He
French
was
Marquis de Lafayette. The
He
French
was a
helped us
spy
out, right?
The French helped us out, yeah. Well, Lafayette did, yeah.
So he was responsible for reporting the activities of Benedict Arnold after he defected to the British, and of Lord Cornwallis during the run-up of Battle of Yorktown. He fed the British false information while disclosing very accurate and detailed accounts to the Americans. Nice.
Correct. And according to Lafayette, his actions ended the war years earlier. So he's one of the most important black founding fathers and patriots. And the fact that you were unaware of that is the reason why black history is important.
That's just American history. I did hear that blacks were serving and so-called leaders and doing different things, but this is not something that I learned in Black History Month.
It should have been.
I never learned Black History Month actually because it wasn't pushed. It should have been pushed in. If anything, it's a mildly remarkable story, right? That's nice.
Mildly remarkable, amazing.
Well, I mean, he wasn't George Washington.
There's only one of those, James.
Right. But anyway, did you hear that? I don't know if you tune in to the Jesse Lee Peterson God's Learning Channel throwbacks, but there was a caller.
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't see you in the chat, so probably not. But there was a caller from back in 2004 who told Jesse Lee that he would be George Washington of the blacks. Isn't that a nice compliment?
It's an insult to George Washington.
Wow. Dang. You really hate black people, don't you?
That's interesting, James. You keep missing the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you somehow think that white folks are losing or being taken away from. That was just one halftime show, James. And ghetto culture is not black culture. I actually didn't like that show because it showed, stupid, insane rappers who got their fame and wealth by rapping about everything horrible, drugs and alcohol and misogyny and stupidity.
Misogyny?
So, yeah, absolutely. If you listen to the lyrics, it's all about, calling women B-words and whores and everything else. It's just incredibly stupid, and it's not what inner-city kids, especially poor kids, need to hear and be exposed to. And this is why I love Cosby so much. He was fighting against all of that stuff.
The only thing that I felt that was kind of a little too in-your-face to the whites was when they put up this black female country music singer to sing the national anthem. And then another black lady, Janae, is that how you pronounce it? Aiko? For America the Beautiful. They should at least have a white in there somewhere singing white music,
Singing white music. Yeah, that's pretty funny, man.
But anyway, to me, and then they had the peg leg girl who was pretty, the prosthetic leg woman and the fat people and the backup singers and backup dancers. That was too inclusive. inclusive, is a liberal throw-up word. Makes you want to spit or throw up. And that was too inclusive.
Yeah, I didn't really care about that. Again, I just want to emphasize that ghetto culture is not black culture, and the real problem.
And I know there are a lot. I know a lot of whites.
Idiot rappers there.
A lot of whites like those idiot rappers.
And that's a shame too.
Yeah, but it's funny because whenever I would hear that music, my Asian friends and Hispanic friends were all into the rap stuff, and I liked it a little. I liked it quite a bit. And to us, it was funny. We didn't live that way. But you're right. Blacks, like a lot of them, live that way or want to live that way, the way that these people portray in their rap music.
I disagree with that, James. Most black people are not on welfare, not in the ghettos, not living that thug stupid life.
But I just said a lot of the blacks actually live that way. It's like a reality. Whereas to us, it's just it's a entertainment. Oh, look at this world. We're like looking at a different world. Whereas a lot of like you said, the ghetto culture is living in that world.
Well, James, again, I don't think you understand that most black people do not live in ghettos.
I didn't say. I already know
you just said most black people live with it. Like you said that.
I did not say that.
What'd you say, James?
I don't remember what I said, but I didn't say nor imply that most black people live that way. I do know that most black people are into the black thing.
Oh, you're welcome to your opinion.
Yeah, they believe in the racism thing. Do or do not, most blacks believe that racism is real and that whites are the primary guilty.
Well, I know the Department of Justice believes that.
Yeah, see, the Department of Justice also believes that. But most blacks do too, don't they?
Well, James, we talked about this many times. We disagree. Racism is a real thing. It does exist.
But most blacks believe that racism is real and that whites are the primary guilty.
I wouldn't say that. I would disagree that most black folks think most white folks are racist.
I didn't say that most blacks think most whites are racist. Now you're twisting my words the way that you twist Jesse's meaning.
Kind of hard to twist. Most black people are retarded, James. That's pretty clear in your face. And a lie.
It's not a lie.
It's a huge lie.
Mm-mm.
James, it's very easy to prove that most black people are not retarded.
No, it's not.
Out of wedlock birth rate, there's 700,000 is not.
Look at the voting patterns.
James, how many black people vote? Exactly.
That's even worse. Just makes them even worse.
Percentage of overall black people vote.
It makes it even worse.
You can't say it says nothing about most black people.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's an indicator.
You're trying hard to troll, James. And
I'm not trying to troll. I'm telling you exactly how I see it.
Okay, well then you're wrong.
But anyway,
as is Jesse.
Yeah, you can't admit that most blacks think just like you that whites are the ones who are mostly guilty of the racism. Not.
Have I ever said that, James? No,
you just admitted it. You said the DOJ thinks so.
What are you talking about? I said that. Yeah.
You said racism is real. Anyway, gotta go, Joe. Nice talking with you.
Yep. Have a good day, James.
All right. Bye. What a mess. Boy. Oh, okay, let me just double check over here. Let me check the super chats because I don't want to miss those. Okay, I appreciate it, guys. I got to get to William in California. William, how are you doing?
Oh, good. Excuse me. How you doing?
Hey, fine, thank you.
Oh, good morning, man. I would like to, since nobody has done it, since they want Black history so bad, I personally really don't like celebrating it. And I think, if anything, you need to address us Black people here in America, the ones that have some common sense. We are Black. Because before your time, we were called Negroes or colored.
Yeah.
They thought that was a little offensive. And if you really want to know something about blacks, you really have to ask blacks instead of, I wouldn't ask a Chinese man anything that I want to know about Asians making fun of them. But I can say this, I'm not saying you're doing that. And that was me who sent you the story about Louisville, Kentucky. The young lady, we're back on her again. Brianna was dating a dope dealer and fooling around with another one on the side. And she lost her life about it. She lost her life over that stuff. If this would have been me getting done that way, this wouldn't even have made the news. If you're dating a dope dealer, you're going to fool around and get burned. Yeah. I want to go ahead and throw out some black history because I'm going to tell you, other than up to about 1960, they really don't have any. They really don't have any good history. But Sylvester MAGEE, who lived up to about 130 years old, he actually fought in the Civil War for both sides. And it was Richard Nixon, the Republican racist, that said, get that man and put him in the Veterans Hospital right now. He died in 1971. I was 11 years old. You do the math. I didn't know anything about Sylvester MAGEE when I was 11 years old. So I have no right to speak on how the white man is mistreating me because I pay my taxes, my mortgage, and do the right thing as an adult, not as a black man, but as an adult. The rap music, the stupid rappers that you're talking about, well, James, some of them have some lightweight rap sheets. I would have to admit that. Me and you both talked about that. But I don't know. If you move from South Central to Bel Air, I'm not going to really say that's stupid more than I'm going to say, okay, that was smart for you to do that, to take that route. Yeah. And most blacks don't like rap music. It's only the younger people. Most people don't really know anything. And I'm going to tell you, I go to L.A. all the time. There's a lot of people in the Los Angeles area that really don't understand, okay, that Super Bowl was in Inglewood, correct? Yep. Do you know what Inglewood is? Up to no good. It's the epicenter of rap, hip-hop music, and they displayed it. Now, did they do it the right way? I don't think so. I don't like the kneeling. I don't need this guy taking a knee for me because as far as I'm concerned, you don't know anything about the Black Panther experience, Colin Kaepernick. As a matter of fact, they would look at you back then, the Black Panther Party, and actually laugh and tell him that he's cotton soft. This Colin Kaepernick is a mess. Yeah, he's garbage. He's garbage. A quick thing, do you actually go out and buy this stuff that you play? No, I used to order it from home, mail order. So one time I wrote a letter to this guy. Are they signed to anybody? Major labels? They're not, are they? No, they were on Parasomnic Records, which was an indie outlet. I think they mostly put out noise stuff. Okay. Yeah. So we were not building the country as far as black people. You know, we were slaves. And for people that don't understand slavery is like a business, like cattle. Like you're not going to mistreat your cattle. Right. If you really want them to do what you want them to do. So I'm going to say this, and this is from a black man, because Africa, Jamaica, and all you guys out there, you cool with us, but you're not going to come here and call yourself black. You know you're not. You know, the reason why we say we're black is because these blacks here in America are the luckiest, most fortunate. I mean, they have everything, and they don't even know it, but they're the best living black people in the world with the problems they have. Best off in terms of physically, financially, and all that stuff. They're living like kings. No, I got to say that
You're saying that
actually
they're the
living
best?
better. They're living better than most.
Yeah.
Just put it that way.
Yep.
They don't they want to. A lot of people that are really superficial. They want to say living good is having money. I know. I'm saying really, black people in America have it better than most black people.
Yeah,
around the
they've
world.
never had it so good, and they're still complaining.
Well, that's true. And that's why I pointed out this guy here, Sylvester MAGEE. We don't really have any, I don't really celebrate it because there's no recent history that they've done anything correct.
MAGGE. I mean, MAGEE.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be addressed as a people of color. I don't want to be addressed as POC. I don't like that term, and I say stop promoting it. You want to talk to some black people? Go to Inglewood. Because I'm going to
No
tell
thanks.
you they don't.
I've been.
You say no thanks because you've probably never been there, but they actually
I've been
do have
there.
good black people. They got some good people in Inglewood. Don't get it twisted.
I think it's pretty much replaced with the Hispanics now.
Probably.
Compton, Inglewood.
You might be right about that. But
And many of them have moved back south to the south. But I call them POCs because that's what they promote. The liberals promote.
We don't like that.
I know.
Let me just tell you, I don't like that. You call me black.
That's what I do.
That's what I am. I'm black, and here's the thing. There's a lot of black people in these areas that are very good people, Hake. It's just it's not across the board. A lot of these people, the bad people in the bad settings and everything, most will not even go there and say how bad it is to their face.
Trump did. He said the black community is living in hell.
He did.
Yep.
But how many do we know that will do that?
Yeah.
I don't know too many people that go into Hunters Point in San Francisco and tell them it's an S-hole.
It wouldn't be wise.
They'll kick you down the hill. They'll kick you down the hill.
It wouldn't be wise.
It wouldn't be wise to do it. So, I like these controlled environments, talk shows, internet, all that stuff. I'm black. I know. I'm out of there. I wasn't even raised with welfare. I had both parents.
Yep.
I had a father that told me right from wrong. I'm telling you, I don't need, as a black man, I'm a man first, and I'm black. But I can tell you right now, I don't need no white folks sitting up there taking up for me.
I know. I appreciate it, William.
I appreciate it too, but I can go to a white neighborhood and live there and still be able to go to South Central and exist. Now, you show me that guy.
All right. Take care, William. Adios. Let me get to Art in Ohio. Art, I appreciate you holding on, man. What's up?
Hey, no problem. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How are you?
Hake, he ain't never fake. Check this out. So, about the slavery and stuff or whatnot. Oh, no. I gotta get you about that. You said that they didn't help build America, and I disagree.
No, I said they didn't build America.
Well, build America.
Yeah.
Oh, so you saying just basically built it by themselves. You just saying they participated in the building
They did the
of
cotton.
America.
I appreciate the cotton. They did. I heard they helped with the White House. I appreciate that. Manual labor. We could have gotten manual labor by other means, but we got it from the slaves, and I appreciate the slaves for that. But they didn't build America. Let's be honest.
Okay, well, check this out. Okay, let's stay on let's stay on the cotton thing.
Okay.
So why did you think that the white people or so-called moved Negroes to America on the slave ships?
I don't know if it was whites who did that, but we definitely bought them, right? Supposedly.
Yeah.
We bought them. I don't know. I heard that they're workhorses. They do better in the sun and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure they wasn't just only picking cotton and on farmlands and just only doing stuff on farmlands. I'm pretty sure they was helping build houses, and helping with the construction of roads. So that wasn't the only thing that they were.
I did hear that they were involved in helping to build the White House.
Well, that just further goes to let you know that that they were building houses and helping with other things besides just the typical
But the
liberal.
whites were building the houses and the slaves were helping.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're probably right about that, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure not most of them, but some of them did have some type of know-how about to build houses or whatnot from
Maybe.
either just watching or just being around maybe their slave master who was teaching them.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's move past the slavery or whatnot. Let's say when they released the slaves and so-called or whatnot,
Right.
they were helping. First things first is with the railroads.
We use the Chinese for that, I heard.
No, that's
No, we use the Chinese for that, for sure.
Well, that's what they did over there in California, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about through the rest of the United States. California ain't all of the United States; it's only a part of the United States.
Okay.
So that might allegedly would built the railroads over there in California, but over here in the Midwest and towards the East Coast and down south in those southern areas, they were building railroads, and then up north with the inventions of a lot of them skyscrapers and stuff, they were helping with that too, or whatnot, and other things. Black people just ain't been sitting around collecting welfare checks whenever welfare started.
No,
and
they
just,
had dignity back in the day. That's true.
So I just go to say that no, most of them were participating in legal. Well, I mean, I don't know how much illegal stuff was going on back then or whatnot, which would be considered illegal now. But I don't know how much stuff illegal was going on back then that they would have been participating in.
Right.
But you had a lot of blacks that were Negro slaves that were participating in helping and building other things around in the United States. They weren't just sitting around just asking for handout. And I just go to if you look at society.
Just to briefly interrupt, the railroads, according to Asmodor Super Chat, Chinese work gangs built the Western Railroad, like you mentioned, and then the Irish work gangs built the Eastern Railroad. Irish indentured servants had contracts to be slaves for a certain number of years, whereas the African slaves in general were bound for life. So the Irish worked the Eastern Railroad, according to a Super Chat from Asmodor, who is an historian. He does know his stuff. But no, I get your point. For sure the blacks were not on welfare before welfare existed. And so I respect the old school blacks. I interrupted you.
Well, you are. You cool. You are. No, that's what you're supposed to do. My thing is this, though, even with him saying the Irish built this so-called Eastern, we're going to have to be a little bit more specific in what you're talking about when Asmodor says the Eastern. Because if we say the Eastern...
And the Irish weren't indentured servants. The Irish, I mean, they were indentured servants, but the work gangs were not indentured servants. Who did this? Who did the railroad? I put two things together that didn't go together.
Okay, so yeah, basically that wouldn't even have been considered as slavery or,
right.
As far, you see what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm saying, even with the East Coast or whatnot, because I'm originally from Virginia, that's a mixture of Negroes and whites, and still to this day or whatnot. So, a lot of them haven't left that area, and you have a lot of hardworking blacks still to this day down in that area. Or whatnot.
Is that the beautiful South that you're referring to?
Yeah, you can call that the South, but it's on the East Coast or whatnot. Okay. I would call it but it's you could call it the South. So. Yeah, you got a lot of good workers or whatnot, because that's where I'm from, and I know I'm a hard worker.
Where is that from? Where is that again?
Well, Virginia, East Coast, / kind of south, kind of southern or whatnot. I think it's below the equator.
Isn't that where Thomas Jefferson? No, it's still above the equator. But isn't that where Thomas Jefferson is from, Virginia? I want to say.
I think you might be right. If I ain't for sure, I think you might be right. I was a little bit more polished on my history, but I think you might be right.
Yeah. Cool, man.
But, just as far as with that or whatnot, you can go, because where I work at right now, I work around a whole bunch of whites and, some blacks or whatnot.
Yeah.
And as you typically know, it's Gabe that's the head of the company, not head, but he's the leader of the little division or whatnot in the Columbus areas. And then you have the white females and beta males that are managers, and they don't know their mouth from their butt.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because I'm trying to figure out how to build the business is still standing because they don't know how to manage. You got a whole bunch of kids working there, and they let the kids do whatever they want to do instead of babysitting and watching them and doing their job. And I just go to say that somebody was helping the whites do something because if you go off of how whites are acting now, you know, and I ain't even saying all of them, I'm just saying the whites in these liberal democratic areas, they don't know nothing. They scared to speak up and talk and say what's right and wrong to the blacks because I don't know if they scared or what, but they had to have some help from some type of Negroes like myself because they don't know nothing and they scared to say anything, and they don't work. Even the managers and whatnot right now, they lazy, and I'm gonna call them lazy because I'm from the BA and we ain't lazy. We go out there and shovel, do whatever.
Nice.
Back-breaking work and sweat and they definitely wasn't. A lot of them whites wasn't doing a lot of that work that you so-called think they was.
You don't think so?
But
I don't know, man.
No.
Old school whites, they had tough lives. Honestly, even the slave masters themselves had lived harder lives than I think most of us live.
Well, I agree with you.
It was rough times back then.
I know what you're saying. You're saying that the whites they were more independent and they'd get out there and do that back-breaking work. But just like I say about me, I'm a hard worker. I can do back-breaking work and whatnot. Nice. But I know when too much is too much and what I can and can't do. And I know when I need help.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So you can be the toughest person and the hardest worker, but you can't do everything. And and I just go to say that or whatnot. And that's the problem that I have or whatnot. No, people need to go ahead and talk about history and what happened with the blacks back in the day because that's the only thing that's going to be able to get them to come back to reality because a lot of these people are cursed. They got, with this liberal nonsense, most of these females are running around here, they're witches. They putting spells on people. And
crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of stuff. That's why you see a lot of this evil and stuff, right? People don't know right from wrong and don't have common sense. It's because a lot of them got spells on them. But, you know, the problem is, too, is that the blacks need to get away from this, we going to work together and we want to be with the whites. No, I don't have no problem with no whites, but I see the problem is getting my own house together before I try to go and get everybody else's house together. Yeah. And a lot of people need to worry about themselves before they try to worry about everybody else. Then once you get yourself together, then you go out here and try to maybe help some blacks or maybe help some whites or maybe go help some Ukrainians or maybe help some Mexicans. But that don't mean that you let them come into your house
I know.
and take everything from up under your nose.
Very true, man. I appreciate it, Art.
You. That's all you already know. I appreciate you, and I thank you for your time and whatnot. And you keep doing what you're doing, and we still rolling with Trump, and we don't care who like it. And we ain't scared to say what we like and who we don't like. Nice.
Thanks, Art.
Catch you later.
All right.
Yep.
Guys, we are at 2 minutes till the top of the hour. I got to read these super chats. A couple from Big Bump. He sent me a Sandy Hook lawyer, Josh Koskoff. Koskoff, I think is how it's pronounced. Looks like a sleazy gun grabber. What a shame. And yeah, he does look like a freak. Oh my gosh. I'll have to show that picture to you tomorrow, guys. He also states, regarding my call with Joe from Phoenix, you said, he's referring to me, Big Bump, the ghetto culture is living in that world, referring to the world that the gangster rap from the 90s and the 80s portrays, and the early 2000s, portrayed. Indeed. Factual. And he says, tell Joe to stick to the stats. He doesn't even get those stats right. But yeah, Joe accused me of saying that most blacks live in that world. I said the ghetto culture is living in that world, according to Big Bump. Yeah, and I remember saying something to that effect. Appreciate it. Kyle B. with the super chat over there on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Unfortunately, controversy is more entertaining than serious topic, and that's the reason the elite will always keep us focused on racism. Yeah. Asmodor states with the super chat on Odyssey, ODYSEE, the Eastern and Western Railroad indicates where the rails started on the Pacific in the west and the Atlantic in the east. In 1869, they were connected with the Golden Spike and became the Intercontinental Railroad. Wow, that is cool. Anyway, guys, this has been the Hake Report. Rick in Hampton, Virginia, wanted to say, blacks only see their culture, only their culture, as unique. Yeah, They think they're so special. None of us are special. Thanks, guys. This has been the Hake Report. See you in the Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube premiere, 4 p.m. Pacific today. Tomorrow's Thursday. We'll have a fun show again for you, hopefully. Thanks. And, oh, by the way, well, I'll tell you tomorrow. I have an announcement tomorrow. Thanks, guys, and take care.